3:31.
Okay, we're going to call our meeting to order at 3:31 p.m. Do we have public comment today?
Oh, thank you. I came because I'm worried, and I love trees, and the word is bittersweet, and I'm really sick of the word. I was walking around with the highway this morning. I was walking around with them 2 months ago. Mr. Fuller has got such a mess in back of his garage, it looks like, and so on and so on. Every tree in Auburn, over across as you go down the hill, dozens and dozens of trees are right over, almost to the ground. I haven't got to the crease yet. I'm afraid to go there. But starting where their garage is over here, there are big fellas, bittersweet, that have been there for years. They're all along the bank, and I don't know if it belongs to Auburn Housing or
Church.
the church. But as you get to like the left of the garage, there is a tree with bittersweet, a big tree that's leaning this way. But if you just drive around the curve, and when you get, just as you're going to go around the whole thing, look to your far right. There's a little pine tree there, about 10 feet tall. I talk to it now and then, it doesn't do any good. But I tried to break them off, but there's a bank in there. So I said, they'll find me on the bank and when they're looking for me. But anyway, the bittersweet has come in and taken that little tree over, and all along the bank, and the bittersweet, which is now getting tiny leaves on it, is this high next to it, right by the corner of that house. And up goes the bittersweet into the 20 feet pines in back of the little pine. I wish somebody would cut it. I don't do what the guys on the highway do. Around the pond, they said, oh yeah, that's the core, that's the core, that's the core. I said, don't cut the trees. They cut the trees. I said, you don't cut the trees when the core's there. You cut the core. Well, bittersweet's around it. The bittersweet will let go after you've cut the core that's feeding it. So Mr. Coyle told whoever I was with this morning, he said, don't cut the trees. And I said, he doesn't listen to you, Mr. Coyle. But anyway, that's why I'm here. It's pathetic over there, and there's beautiful pines over there. Beautiful trees.
Over here, you know, the
As you
beginning of the Auburn
go
housing.
around the, yeah,
Oh,
as you
okay.
go around the circle, to your far right, you will see this,
Okay.
well,
The wooded area.
Right.
yeah,
On the
it's
right-hand
beautiful
side.
pine as you get to the
Housing Authority property.
beautiful. Bittersweets
Chances are
everywhere.
good.
Laurie will investigate it, Edie, but one thing, you shouldn't go down there. It's pretty dangerous for anyone to go down on a banking.
Yes.
Especially this time of year when it's muddy. So just try not to go down there.
I just will talk to it. Say, "You're gonna
Yeah,
get
like
help."
from the pavement,
Yeah.
talk to the tree down below. That's much better than taking
I
a
will.
chance and slipping and then, no one knowing you're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, the same
It's a
thing
pretty
at the
dangerous
front, yeah.
situation. But
I
Laurie
will.
will investigate the bittersweet and and get back to
As
us.
you get around there, it's horrible looking. There are other bittersweets going, but they're all the way up to the top of the tree now. People don't ride around and look up like that when they're driving. It's Oxford Street. It's every street in Auburn has it.
Thanks, Edie.
Okay, thanks, Edie.
And I will be back down the highway if they let me in the door. They probably got a sign on there saying, no, I went in one day and there was nobody. I said, what'd you do, see me coming? Not a sound or anything. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Edie.
Thank you.
So you'll investigate that and get back to us. Okay, no more public comment. We'll go to the votes. First vote to accept the minutes of the regular meeting held January 8th, 2013. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote number 2, to accept the minutes of the special meeting held January 11th, 2013. Is there a motion?
I move to accept.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just have a kind of a comment.
Okay.
On the first page relative to your statement, I think you wrote these right, Mrs. Patricia,
Yep.
that I did not CC you on my email to Howie.
Yep.
It was not meant as a term of disrespect if no one asked me
I
to do
didn't.
that. And I didn't even have your email
I
address.
didn't take it as
Oh, okay. I didn't
being
have your email
disrespect.
address.
It's just that something like that you probably should.
And I probably would have if someone had said something, and I didn't have your email address anyways, it never occurred to me. So
Laurie has it.
It wasn't intended to be.
Now we all have everyone.
Right, but it was
it's a moot
not
point.
intended to be a
Sure, I understand that.
disrespectful or anything.
Yep. I just wanted it to be a part of the minutes that I did not see the list before Howie came and talked to us about it. Okay, that's it. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote number 2, to accept the minutes of the regular meeting held March 5th, 2013. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Vote number 4, to increase the residents' pay for cable from $15 to $17 per month.
How long has it been since we,
Is there a motion? Let's do a motion
Okay.
first.
I move to accept, to change it to 17.
Berta makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
How long has it been since we raised the rates?
Not that long. My question, it was since it was before I left.
So it's been a couple of years.
3 years maybe.
They
Well,
keep-
Why is it being raised?
They're going up on us.
Have you got another contract?
We didn't get another contract, they just keep raising it.
How can they do that when you had a signed contract?
Because it's the fees. We had a set rate for the basic cable, but they keep going up on the fees.
The same thing happened at my house. It's going up all the
And
time.
mine too. Same
So
thing,
now we're not
fees.
getting enough money,
I can understand what you're saying, but I don't understand how they
I
can
know.
break from the contract.
but they are.
Have you had a discussion with them about it?
We called and we're waiting to hear back. But we're not getting, right now, we're not getting enough money to cover the cost of what they're charging us. So we need to get more money from the residents because the housing authority can't pay for the cable.
Oh, no, I understand that, but I'm just trying to understand why they're, if you're waiting for an answer on why they're deviating from the contract, I wonder if we should wait till you settle that issue. I just don't understand how they can, they're going through a lot of changes right now, and they're making all these changes on the boxes and so forth. But
I don't think that we can wait because I mean, this is independent living. It's not like it's assisted living where you have expenses that have to be covered that the board just can't cover.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, they had a contract that was in place, and you're waiting for an answer as to why they're deviating from the contract.
And I'm afraid they're gonna want a new contract and they're gonna be charging us even more.
That's right.
What was the term of that contract? I don't recall how long it was for.
2 years.
Wasn't it renewable though for 2 years or something?
But we're kind of in a jam because it's not like there's another vendor.
Oh,
They're
no.
our only,
I know.
they're our only
Everyone's
option.
Yeah,
Everyone's only option, I
unfortunately.
know.
Right.
No, but we can't have direct TV, we can't have satellite dishes, so they're our only option. So we're kind of at their mercy that way.
And it is the fees, because I said the same thing. I noticed that my last cable bill was less than this one, and I called them up. Well, the fees have gone up, but I have a 2-year contract. It doesn't matter, the 2-year contract is for the
bundling.
basic cable, for the bundling, does not include the fees.
And they can charge.
And I didn't want this to
So-
go too long, losing money every month, because we're actually not getting enough from the residents
When
to
did that
cover.
first start? When did-
As of January 1st, it started to hit. So,
So $17 times the number of residents here and times the number of residents that Dr. Chow will cover? Are you gonna give them any kind of notice that it's gonna increase?
Does everybody have cable TV? They do.
Well, they have to
They
pay
have to pay it.
because it's a bulk contract and it's already in their unit.
Right.
So even if they don't have a TV, they still have to pay it. But I just didn't want it to go too far because especially with the budget cuts and sequester and all this, we need to make sure that the housing authority isn't paying for their cable.
Well, a $2 increase is a lot less of an increase than the last time, because we went from $8 to $15.
Right.
8 to 15, that was huge.
It was a huge increase,
Yeah.
that's almost double, if you
Right.
recall.
And I'm afraid the same thing will happen again
Yeah.
if we get a new contract.
And that's what I was afraid of.
When's our contract up?
Well, we can-
Technically?
Technically now, we can go out, but I mean, I wanted to make sure that at least in the meantime, we're recovering some of that money that we're spending, because we're paying more than $15 right
So when
now.
will you make the 17 effective?
May
May 1?
1st, yeah, we'll give them notice in May 1st, because now they're getting new rents anyway, they're coming in to do recertifications, so. But when you consider what the average resident's
It's always
paying,
been a bargain.
I
Oh,
mean,
I'll
it's
say.
at $17, it's still,
I guess years ago it was only $6 a month.
yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people have $80 to $100 a month on it. They have so many add-ons. you know.
Yep, once you start adding anything on, but they
Yeah.
suck
So
it to
this
you.
is a real bargain.
So,
Well, it's unfortunate we have to do that.
It is. But we can't lose the money month after month after month.
I'm just
So-
hoping you could do something to nail down that contract.
well, and we will,
So then-
but I'm afraid it's gonna be even, let's just get to the 17 so that we're not continuing to bleed.
Right.
But on the flip side, if they actually go higher on us, then we're gonna end up raising it again.
Well, perhaps you can negotiate a contract that I hope includes the fees. You know, maybe you can get some kind of a cap where it would go up more than a certain amount or something for the fees, because it's just, you know, it's...
Doubt that.
I doubt it too,
I doubt it
Andrea.
very
Well, if
much.
you don't
I mean,
ask, you don't know.
Well, and this
That's
is the
right.
thing,
That's
we
right.
can
You always
certainly
ask.
ask.
They can always say no, that's what I've learned.
Yep, we
But
can
that's
certainly
how they make
ask.
their money, is
They-
through the
yeah,
fees.
They want
Right.
your
I mean,
social security
we're
number
tax
before you
exempt, we're
sign
paying
up.
for taxes.
So that if you
Right.
die and your family takes the box, they're
Hmm.
gonna
They
get
can
to
find your
your
box,
social
the box?
security number and they can go get it.
That's all.
So I don't think we wanna play.
And you know,
what they're doing.
the sad part is, they're gonna end up paying more for cable, but they have fewer channels.
Yes.
I mean, they
Yeah,
just
that makes it
eliminated
last time.
a bunch
19
of channels.
One good thing that they did offer, I learned from, last week we had folks from Charter Communications into the senior center for a presentation on these new rate changes in the digital boxes that you now have to have. And they did agree, for whatever reason, to give bulk contract customers
They gave us
a
that
box
sheet.
for free
Yeah,
for a whole
it's
year. Yep, for a year.
That was one of the
Information.
handouts, they sent me that.
Yep.
That was one of the handouts. And I photocopied it for you, and I'll photocopy it for the residents. And as we go around, we'll hand deliver them to the residents, so they'll have a better idea. Because we've been getting a lot of calls.
I actually met Bruce Johnston.
You
He was at that seminar last week, and they're going to waive the $29.99 installation fee. They waived it for some of the people from here. So that might be something else, to think about. It's $30. That's
Yeah,
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It is.
So if they get the $30 waived and they get a box free for a year, that's helpful,
Mhm.
you know.
And you figure if they're paying, even if they're paying 17 a month as opposed to paying 70,
Right.
you know,
That's
And
right.
they're not paying the $6, because it's $5.99 now a month for the box. So if they don't have to pay that for a year, that's a savings too.
and they don't have to pay electric, it's included in their rent, so it's, they're not paying the electricity for the TVs, they're just
Right.
paying
Paying
for,
for
Right.
Right?
the cable. Okay, so we'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
okay, so we'll include the handout from cable along with the notice that their rent will go, their rate will go up as of May 1st for that.
Second that. Who was the second on that vote?
I made the
Alice
motion.
seconded it.
Alice
It was
seconded
Alex, okay.
Yes.
I forgot to write it. Okay, vote number 6. To accept the quarter ending statement for 12/31/2012 as compiled by, compiled.
We didn't do
Yeah, we
5.
didn't do 5 yet, Betty.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, to approve the contract for financial assistance for development/work plan 5001, Fish 017014 in the amount of $82,704 in connection with the modernization and administration of the state-aided housing program. Is there a motion?
I move we accept it.
I second it.
Discussion?
Does everybody understand what this is?
Well, the way I took it was you were amending whatever you originally submitted.
No, they are.
They are amending it, why?
Yeah.
They're giving us more money.
More money.
They're giving us more.
Yes.
But they gave you a longer period of time, I thought, too. From the 2014 to 2015.
Yeah. They did. This,
It sounds like you have a year longer to expend the money. That's what I got out of it, but.
but
So
they
what did they
sent
give
us,
you before? I know they're giving you 87,204 now,
it
but-
was 62 before?
and now you have 12 months longer to spend it.
Right, because we didn't spend, like, if you looked on this sheet, it kind of gave the breakdown of what the maximum we could spend and then the minimum. So we were well below the maximum, so we had extra money from,
It was left over.
yeah,
Yeah,
from 12.
right. So
So,
that coupled with your 13 is where the 87,
yeah,
whatever it was, 204 came from. So you really combine the leftover with the new.
Yep.
So they're not giving us any extra.
Which is, but they didn't take back.
But they didn't take it back.
I'm surprised they didn't take it back.
no?
Really?
Not yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Not yet, so let's sign the contract and get it out of the way before they decide they want it.
Yes, well,
So they, you
so it's
have,
not any extra, it's just another year to spend the leftover and the new.
Yeah.
yeah, it's about covers it, Ann.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Good.
Now, you have to sign these. In that packet that I sent, it gave the directions that we had to have a meeting and the notes, and
then
I gotta have
extracts from
Ellen.
the minutes.
Oh, yeah. So they're not leaving anything to chance. And I have to have Ellen sign off that
Yeah.
the meeting was posted and the whole
Yes,
bit.
I saw that.
So,
We'll do whatever we need to do to get money.
there you go.
Well, almost.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything legal.
Not everything legal, right.
It's nice.
You're the only one that has to sign that, right?
Yeah. You all had to vote, but
Yes.
she has to
I
sign.
have to sign it. Okay, vote number 6, to accept the quarter ending statement for 12/31/2012 as compiled by Howard Gordon CPA for the 689-1 and 400-1 programs.
I'll second with a question.
Well,
Okay, who-
let's
I
make a
never
motion.
first-
Make
Who
a
made the motion?
Make
I
a
thought I
motion
heard
for.
a motion. No. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I apologize.
That's okay. It happens to all of us.
So moved.
Alice, would you like to motion? Okay. And Ann, you're going to
I'll second
second?
with it, yeah.
In discussion, sure.
Okay, I'm just a little bit confused on this because the 689 I thought was Auburn Heights.
It is.
It is.
Then I guess what I don't understand is the backup that's attached to this references all the admin costs and maintenance costs and so on and so forth, and we don't really do, we don't run that program, we own a building. and we
But
don't
there
run
are
the program.
costs attached to it, like the cost to the office,
There are?
it gets,
That kind of money though?
mm-hmm,
Really?
yep.
Yep.
I
That's
mean, I
all.
thought, when I was looking at this, I thought this was for the rest of it. Because to me, it's like, we don't do a whole lot for Auburn Heights.
But they still have to pay. And we don't set the rent for that. The state does.
No,
They
I-
determine what we
I know.
get, so then we
Right.
have to divide up where the rent's gonna go between the maintenance and, yeah,
Improvements, whatever we need to do.
they set the rent.
No, I understand that, it's just that I don't understand how you have these kind of expenditures associated with Auburn Heights, I just don't get it. You know, this looks like our whole budget to me. You know, I'm like, what am I missing?
Well,
But
then-
like what don't you understand, Ann? Let's
make
just
sure.
go over it and make sure that,
It just looks like the costs are more than what you would be associating with a program that we rent the building for that we don't run. But if Howard did this, I'm sure he did it correctly, but I just don't, I don't follow.
Well, we do have expenses, some expenses over there when we have to do repairs there.
Right?
You know, when we've had repairs, part of the pilot covers this.
covers that 855. Insurance on the
Insurance,
building.
we have to pay insurance on the building. The,
Maintenance costs, that, you know, that's a good portion of it, maintenance costs.
but they do have to bear some of the cost of maintenance and the office staff. And I think that's the way it's always been. It's divided, they're included in the division.
But they're not, no, I don't. If you say so. It just seems, I would think it would be proportionate to their usage, and to me, it's, I mean, I'm not an accountant, but this to me, the other one here for 4001, I'm like, this to me goes with 689, not the other way around, but that's the way he's got it, and I guess missing something, I'm not an accountant, so I guess I'm missing something. I really thought, when I saw 689, I'm like, wait a minute, that's Auburn Heights, it's not a regular program. But
They under the right numbers?
he's got
Just asking
689
Lori if
up.
they're under the right numbers.
Yeah, he's got 689 up here too, so, because that's what I thought at first, I'm like, well, maybe this is stapled to the wrong thing, or,
And this is,
but it
I
is.
printed this off, it's what he
No, I know.
had me submit to the state,
This is
so.
already gone, right?
Mm-hmm,
We have to sign this, though, don't we?
you have to sign it. You have to sign that you've seen it,
Oh.
at the very least.
Okay. But it's already been submitted.
Mm-hmm. And it's actually been submitted for a while, and they didn't kick it back.
Yeah, no, and I thought there was somewhere where it had to be signed and submitted by April something, I don't know what the date was, but. All right.
It does have to be signed by April something.
You'd think it would be signed before it got submitted, wouldn't you? But,
Well,
No, because she does the daily date operations on this.
yeah, but this is.
Oh, no, by a-
this is signing that you've seen it.
We've seen it,
Okay,
right.
all right, fine.
I mean, I didn't compile this, he
No, I know you
did.
didn't, he did, right. And
Yeah.
it's quarterly, it's not.
Right, it's
quarterly. Okay, so we're just verifying that we saw it, that's all, right? Okay,
okay, all in favor?
And that's because of
Aye.
Chelsea.
yes, I know. Everything's-
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, right,
Because of what did you say?
Chelsea.
Chelsea, yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
So do we have one that we need to sign?
Yep, I have him here, Ann. And you know what, I'll call him and I'll ask him about it,
Okay.
and then I'll let you know what he says.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid question, that's for sure.
It is, yeah. I looked at it twice too, Ann.
Well, you had called me with a question on the other.
Yes, I did.
So,
I just looked at this last night to tell you the
Yeah.
truth. There's a little bit going on there now.
Yeah.
and that would have all been in the original budget that we did for 2012 anyway, those numbers. Because that stuff he projects out. I don't know. I'll ask him.
I just didn't know whether he had reversed the pages. The numbers.
Yeah. That's what I thought
Yeah.
too.
I'm gonna ask him about it.
But the
see what he
numbers,
says.
you know,
Yeah,
the number on the
definitely.
page was.
Right.
Ask Hallie.
Thank you.
Okay, before we go on, I'd like to see if we could plan our next meeting. We have, the 21st is voting day. So rather than have a regular meeting and then having a special meeting, because we have to reorganize within 7 days of the election, I thought we should wait until after the election to plan a meeting. And that will be our May and June meeting, which we usually do.
And when were you looking to meet?
May 28th. It's Tuesday. It's the Tuesday after Memorial Day.
If you did that, Madam Chairman, you would not be meeting the following week in June, would you?
Right.
Right,
No.
that meeting would be the May and June meeting.
I should be able to meet then.
So that's the Tuesday after Memorial Day, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
May 28th,
All right.
3:30. Perfect.
That good for you, Alice?
Yes.
Yep. And then you can just ask Joyce if I'm sure it's okay for her. Should we send her a card or something?
We sent her
Yes.
flowers.
Oh, that's good.
Good. That's good. Okay, now, Laurie, our developments.
Okay, we don't have any vacancies. We've had people leaving, but we're filling them as they're leaving, so.
So both in Hudney and the States are
Mhm.
vacancies, perfect.
And as far as maintenance goes, they've been doing work on inspections. We've identified the catch basins, and we made a list of vendors that we're going to call to have them clean the catch basins, because the town requires it. So each development had a certain number, so we'll go and get quotes for catch basin cleaning. We received quotes for fire extinguishers. We found that we needed quite a few, and Masterman's came in with the lowest rate. And so we're going to use them and order the fire extinguishers that we need. And
Do they refill the ones that are there, then do they check those and refill them? The ones that we already have?
the vendor that does the inspection,
Yeah.
Masterman's is the vendor
Yes.
that,
The
the supplier.
Right.
And that's pretty much it.
I just wanted to make sure we keep
Yeah.
those up to date.
Yeah.
That came out with the inspection that, we needed more, or,
Mhm.
some
New
needed
ones.
updating, new ones, so
How
that
many
was
did
good.
you have to buy, do you know?
It's gonna be close to 100, because we didn't have any in the back of Packagug at all, and the fire department wants us
Yeah, that's a good
to
idea.
put them in. So between the ones that were old and they couldn't refill, the ones that were missing, there were quite a few missing
Missing?
in Packagug in the front. Missing!
Who would take a
They
fire
didn't-
extinguisher?
Well,
You never
When you
know.
see the sign and there's nothing underneath it, there's a good idea that at one point there was one. So we need a few. So we figured if we ordered it in bulk,
You get a better.
we get a better price.
Yeah.
Right,
And it's not like they're gonna go bad, because they would just refill them
right.
anyway. So, that's it.
So we have a fire extinguisher bandit.
Yeah,
we do.
Mhm.
probably do. You
Oh.
don't know, it could be a visitor, it could be anybody.
And the only other thing, I did contact Mark LaPrade, who used to work for Cullinan Engineering. He is going to survey the land at Packagug again. He did it in 2009. He went on his own, in his own business. So he's going to restake the property up there, so we'll know what it is that we need to maintain.
Very good.
Good.
So that took care of that. And they'll stake it out, and hopefully we'll go back and make sure the stakes stay.
Stay there.
Is he
Yep.
gonna draw a plan, is he gonna put the survey stakes on a plan, so we have it
I don't-
documented for all perpetuity?
Usually they do.
Well, they didn't before,
Well, they didn't before.
because we didn't pay for that much.
'Cause we
just
didn't
paid
pay
to have
for-
it staked out.
right.
It's expensive for a full survey.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, maybe we should have a.
It
full
could be
survey,
almost,
So that we do have it.
that's gonna involve some money.
A lot of money.
Like how much do you think?
Well, it's 700 just to get
I
the
was
stakes.
gonna- A couple thousand, I would bet,
That was
for
my
them to
guess,
draw
too.
up a.
And I don't know
yeah.
that, I mean,
But, you know, if you have the plan done and the stakes are on the plan, then if somebody pulls the stakes, they can go back to the plan and they can recreate what's out in the field. If you don't have it done on a plan and somebody pulls the stakes, you're gonna be paying for a survey guy to go out there again like you're doing now.
unless I
To
put the
restate it.
cameras, go after whoever's pulling the stakes.
Well, we need something, I think, in
Yeah.
writing.
So you
Yeah.
want
That
a plan?
shows you where
shows
the
where it
stakes,
is.
some sort
I
of
really think it'd be
plan.
better, I think it'd be better spent money to
Okay.
get a plan done. I mean, if you
I
all
do
agree,
too.
but.
Yeah, and that way there's not gonna be any problem
Right.
in the future.
Well, that's what I was thinking. of
Forever,
when
you're
I
going
asked
to
her.
have
Right,
it
because you'll
forever.
always have them documented, they'll have the survey points documented, and they can go back out and take those numbers, and they can put those stakes
Yep.
back out in the field.
Okay.
Yeah, in a
Would
minute.
it cost a lot to put in a permanent
Mark.
stake right at the line?
I don't know, those meets and
Well,
bounds,
those
those
are-
little
yeah.
square things that roll around, I don't know how that's done.
Yeah,
I need like a
that-
piece of cement or something,
Yeah,
Plus,
whatever.
plus when you do that, you have to hit them with the lawnmower or whatever too.
Get the cement pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally, I still would advocate
Okay.
for a plan to
I agree.
document things.
I'll ask him how
Yeah.
much it'll be.
Yeah,
Yeah, you get a price
But at
on
the
it.
very least, he's gotta do the stakes,
Do you want,
because we
do you
need
want
to
a
know.
motion for that, or do you just want to find out how much it is for?
Well, it's not gonna be enough that, I mean, it's not gonna be,
She can just do it.
Okay,
it's not gonna be over my limit.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
God help us if it is.
Oh,
Well,
no, yeah, then we're gonna have to rethink.
Whether
having
it's
that done.
documented. I don't think it is though, but.
No, shouldn't.
But
but
I
I
think
did,
it
I
should
did
be.
put in a call to him because I wanted to get that going. Because once the weather turns,
And you could also, if there's someone else that you could call to get a price, if you feel his price is too high.
see, I
um,
thought it was fair because he had done it in the past, so he had an idea of what we were dealing with.
Okay,
You're kidding. I'm sorry, hang on a minute. I'm sorry.
it's okay. Get up.
I apologize.
It's okay. Emergencies come up. Well, I think that'd be good to know exactly
Yeah, and then.
where
like
our
you said,
lines
then we
are,
won't-
that,
won't
you
run
know,
into the
we're
same
not gonna have
problem
an
we
issue
did
again if they ever bring up the skating rink issue and any other issue of what we can do with that property, so.
And I want to get it staked before I even approach the state about the,
Yeah.
because that way I can have pictures to send to them so they'll know what
Right,
we're talking about,
Yeah,
so.
okay.
That will prevent in the future the happenings that have been going on with the.
yes, the drama with the skating rink would
That's right.
Yeah, so it
would not have happened.
much better. Very good idea.
And I'll have maintenance look at this tree list, Alice.
Yeah, okay.
They've already made lists of like the winter damage, what we're gonna have to reseed. So I'll just add this to there.
That's good.
And the bittersweet, do you think that's on our property, or
I
do
don't-
you think that's on the church property? I don't know, like going down the banking, how far down that,
Well, if the tree's on that land, I would say it was their problem, rather than.
yeah, it's near their garage, it might be their
I'll have
property.
to look to see what she's,
And what do? You just cut it? Is there something you can kill it with?
You'd have to
You
kill it
cut
at
it
the
at the
root.
base.
At the base, yeah. It'll
And
grow
then
again.
you try to
Don't
pull
get
roots
rid of
out.
it.
And then every year you go, because of the seeds, the birds eat the
Right.
seeds.
it
And,
spreads it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you can get a thing that will, you can put a gloved hand in some chemicals and then go after it and rub it, the root and all that way, the part sticking up, or anything that's baby growing up that will kill it to the roots. I don't know if there's a chemical. I've been looking it up, but I haven't found anything like that.
Well, I'll have to look to see how involved it's gonna be and whether maintenance can take care of it or we're gonna have to hire somebody and how much that's gonna cost. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
with the budget, we don't know what cuts, so, I mean, I'd rather keep going with toilets than
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of a necessity.
worried about that, but, and then,
But it would be nice to save the trees too if we can.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it will gradually let go. I mean, as the
Yeah.
vine up top dies, it will relax its hold on everything.
we
But it-
took,
Pulls them, it'll kill them. You pull them
Yeah.
right out by the roots. So gradually that you don't even notice. If you've got a double tree that's growing up, it'll split it right in half.
Wow.
That's why so many states have banned it.
we took 3 family residents to court and we received judgments so that if they don't pay us the money they owe within a certain date, then they're gonna be evicted. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was enough so that we weren't gonna let it go.
How long do they have to pay?
This month,
So they have to pay
they-
by May 1st
by April, they have to pay
But-
this month.
this month, and then if not, that's
Then-
grounds for eviction.
Right.
Hmm.
And they've signed an agreement, and the court signed off on it, that yes, in fact, if they don't pay, they will be gone. And then the other concern I had is we've had an issue with a guest who visits one of the residents who's actually kind of related to another resident, and he's been a problem. We've had the police come a number of times, so I will be going to court to try to get no trespass against this person. We had an issue just today, so we're going to push forward with that.
Were the police here again today?
Yes, yep. So hopefully we have enough police reports that the judge will kind of say, okay, you know, issue the no trespass so that when he does come on the property, the police can arrest him. But other residents have expressed concern for their safety. We don't have a policy in place that requires that the doors, exterior doors, remain locked. And some residents have asked that we do put a policy in place that the exterior doors are to be locked at all times. So I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, can they get out? Those
Mhm.
doors are locked? They just can't get
You
in.
can get in without a key.
I was just thinking of fire, that's all.
They can, it's not gonna affect that, they can still get out.
Right.
Now, at Stoneville, are they required to keep those exterior doors locked?
No, there isn't any policy, it's encouraged, but we don't have a policy in effect that requires that they do. And one resident is kind of like, no, you're not gonna do that, and the other residents in the building want it locked, so we need to decide whether we want a policy
But
in
how do you
place.
police that?
I think they're gonna end up policing it themselves. And it'll end up being like a rules and regulation violation, like any other policy that we have. If someone's consistently unlocking the door or leaving it unlocked,
That's a safety issue.
it's a safety issue.
Yeah.
And some of the residents have been bothered by this gentleman. I mean, he doesn't belong here. He was living here illegally. We went after the resident for that. And he's still coming around. But the police need a no trespass. And that's something that we have to go to court to get.
Well, also, isn't in the agreement that we signed with the resident, if this person becomes bothersome, they can also be evicted.
Absolutely.
And we need to,
Mhm.
and I'm sure you're documenting that as well.
So, I mean, how soon would you go to court? If you tell the resident that, you know, this person who's visiting you is a concern, it's a concern of the other residents, person keeps allowing this person to come back, like, at what point do you step in and say,
Well, the
we're
two
gonna go to
residents
court?
that are involved already know that, you know, they've actually violated the rules and regulations by doing that. And I had a conversation with the police this morning. We've called for all the reports that they've had involving this individual. And as soon as we get the reports, then we'll contact the attorney and see what they tell us to do.
Because this is more than a one-time episode. And if it's threatening at all to our residents, we need to do it. And as far as having a policy for locking the doors, I know I lock my doors when I go to bed at night. And I think the residents have a right to have that too. So maybe we do need to make a policy.
Well, we'll have to discuss that, because how do you police something like that? And then who's to blame if the door is open and, you know, you have 4 people living in one building? Who do you blame for it?
It would have to be someone from the housing authority that would have to lock them at night, I would assume.
No,
Oh, no,
they're
we
not
can't,
doing
we,
that.
how
No,
could
but
you
that's
do
what
that?
I'm
You
saying.
couldn't,
I mean,
no.
I think, you know, that's not
They would be
reasonable.
locking them themselves. But if one particular individual goes around and unlocks it,
That's what my concern is.
Yeah, you'd
it's
have
like the
to-
smoking policy.
That's right.
It's, you know, they're policing it themselves.
Yeah.
They call and report the violations.
Okay, so it would be up to the residents.
It would be
to
up to,
really
to
report it.
same thing with the
Right.
guest policy. They tell us who's living here and who doesn't belong here, and
Right,
you know.
because they are renters and it is independent living, which a lot of people forget that it is independent living.
Yeah.
They're
But I don't
renting
like
from
the
us.
idea that they're concerned for their safety.
That's
And
right.
if the idea that the door has to remain locked is going to make people feel more secure, then I think that that's the
Yeah.
route that we need to go.
I do too.
Yep.
Probably the only thing you could do to make sure that the locks were done, you'd have to have a whole new lock system put in that would have a timer or something on it that would lock at a certain time and unlock at a certain time, and then you
But then
get
they're
into a
not
whole
free to
issue of expense and.
But then they
Yeah, I
have to
don't
be
know that we're
overseas,
gonna
go-
we can't do that either.
I don't know that
That's
we're gonna
not
go
it,
that
and
route.
wouldn't be independent living.
No.
That would be.
But I mean, there's a
locked
lot
in.
of apartment complexes where the exterior building doors are locked all the time. You know, you have to be buzzed in to get in, you know?
Well, I think if we just try the policy first and see how that goes, and then if we
Right.
still continue to have problems. I mean, this just started because of this one particular individual. And if we can get him
Do you-
off the property, then that would help.
Do you want a motion to make it a policy to lock the doors?
We don't have it on the agenda.
We don't have it on the
No, so we
agenda.
can't.
Okay, can't.
Next
That's right.
next meeting.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
throw it out there
That's a good
as,
idea. And then we
you
can
know-
think about it too, as how we want to word it.
I think it's a good idea.
I do too.
Me too.
and it's what some residents want, so there you go.
Which development is
Here.
the problem? Here?
Well,
But if we did it for one, we should probably do it for
Oh,
all.
it'll be
would-
throughout. I mean, other than the
would be-
family, I mean, we
right,
can't,
right. Right.
But the problem was here.
the problem's here. But it would be involved Packagug and
Sure.
Stoneville, the elderly disabled.
okay. Any other new business?
So you're going to put that on for next time?
Mhm.
I just had a question.
Yep, go ahead.
Have you heard anything, Laura, from DHCD relative to that license question about the town to be able to keep the bench and the sign?
No,
You haven't heard anything from
no.
them at all?
And I want to take pictures of the property line
Mhm.
with the staking so that they'll know exactly what we're referring to.
Yeah, but it have the visual.
Yep. I think once we get it staked, then we can prove to them, okay, you know, this is how it is. What would you like us to do?
And then just have one other question. On
Yep.
the email you sent us a copy of from Eric Kressler at the Woods Inn Park. Have you looked into that? Care
No,
offers?
I got this, and I just gave it to you to see what you think. It kind of sounded like a good idea to me.
I was gonna sign up.
It's a great idea. And they
Have a chef meal.
professional, staff to do
Yeah.
the cooking. They've been coming to the senior center doing cooking demonstrations, making different things.
That's nice.
You know?
We were wondering if you saw a need for seniors in Auburn senior housing in which we could either deliver a meal to them from our shop. I mean,
Is it a one-time thing, or is it a continuous?
well, they're trying to reach out.
It sounds like
Yeah.
a one-time
Yes.
thing,
And it was
but I
a-
think
it's-
it's lovely.
10,000 meals in
2
60
months,
days.
Wonder if we could set up something here and they could deliver a meal if we ever we were able to serve food here.
When we were trying to.
They
We
can
can
bring it in.
Yeah,
Yes.
but we were trying to get a person to go into, up there. We invited her up there, and I took her up, and they served us a meal. And I will tell you that it was excellent.
Hmm.
Food is very good
So do
there,
you
I
want me to
have
call, do you want me to call them?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think you should, sure.
I would say
Definitely
yes.
follow up
I
on
think
that.
it's wonderful for the residents.
I thought it was a pretty good idea, but I was like, oh, okay, I'll just pass it along and see what you think.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
And
great.
the Board of Health would have already passed them.
Yeah.
Yes. The kitchen has to.
So
The
they
kitchen
could
is
bring
fine.
a meal here.
Right.
They just couldn't cook it here.
Right.
Right.
Because I'm not taking responsibility for that.
No.
No.
Absolutely.
No. I just, that's not.
But yeah, it's
That's
definitely
state,
see what they,
that's
So-
state health laws.
Roberta and I ended up at an emergency management meeting. Oh, we have nothing to offer. We don't have a van. We don't have like equipment. So we're basically, I don't know. The assisted living properties actually have vans that the town could use in the case of emergency to evacuate people. They have equipment that they could use. We were kind of like on the short end.
I'm actually on that committee.
I know you are. We were kind of on the short end, so I was like, oh. I mean, I was glad I went, but
Yes.
I was kind of like,
you mean for evacuation?
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Our biggest
So we have
thing,
to have a contingency plan, and we should have. for the
our
residents.
thing is information, giving them proper information that it's a comfort station, that it's not actually a shelter,
Right.
and your expectations need to be as such.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That if you were to be evacuated, you need to bring your medication, and if you're taking
Your
your
food.
pet, you need to bring your food.
And your food for yourself, too.
Right, I mean, so they're limited as to what they can do and what they're gonna do, and people need to, like I had one resident the last storm threaten me that if I didn't get him to the shelter and if I didn't provide him with a hot meal, he was gonna sue me.
Oh my goodness, this is independent living,
I
we're
know.
landlords,
But
that's
people
all.
don't
I
understand
know.
it. They think
Yeah,
of
I
it
know.
as assisted living, and it really is
No.
not. That's why I always stress it, almost every meeting, that it's independent living.
Yes, and we are just the landlord.
So our biggest thing is, I mean, the reality of it is we're not responsible for them.
No.
Their family members or whoever their emergency contact is responsible. But I think we need to give them as much information as to where they need to go so that they, but because these storms, they're not leaving here.
Yeah.
The families aren't taking them, they're staying put. So if something were to happen,
But if the power went off and
Mm-hmm.
they could come here.
once the
Once
generator,
the generator is up,
are
this would
hooked up.
be a place that they could,
It'd be a warming station.
would be a
but it'd
warming
be
station.
a comfort
Comfort
station, not
station.
a,
Not a living station.
right,
No, and it won't be staffed.
no.
what do other developments in town do? There's other elderly apartments in town. What do they do? Do they just leave it up to the
I think
the
so. I mean,
people
they're in
to,
just a
do they
regular
fend for
landlord
themselves?
situation.
And, I mean, so are we.
I would like to give them as much information as we can. And then go from there. And we do usually call to find out who's staying and who's going. And I have a list of who's on oxygen,
That's good.
so that if asked, and contact names and numbers, we actually put it in the software system so that it's web-based now, so that, say
It's
the office
accessible.
blows up,
You can find out.
we can find out. But I got all that from that meeting. that
That's
I went
good.
to.
I think the code red information that's being distributed around lately is helpful too. Get as many people signed up for code red so that they get notices from the town relative to weather events and relative to things that are going on in the community as far as whether there's a shelter set up and where it is and when it's open.
Not a shelter, comfort station. A shelter is different.
The shelter.
The town
Yeah,
has a
the
shelter. The town provides a shelter.
The town is going to provide a comfort station.
They're gonna get away from calling it a shelter.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
because
anybody
there's
that- yeah.
different, there are different things that you need for a shelter or a comfort station.
Well,
And if
perhaps
people
it's-
need more
temporary-
care, then
And
they're
it's a
gonna get
temporary
shipped
thing,
to an actual shelter.
Well, I'm
yes.
sure the town.
Because there are regional shelters too.
Yes, there are. But they're probably going to disseminate information about that. I had not
No,
heard
they will.
the difference between
They
a
will.
comfort station and
No,
a
they will.
shelter.
There'll
We
be
went
more
door to door
information
with
on
that code red notice,
Yeah,
so we know that all our elderly disabled residents did get it.
yeah, some of them have been calling up and signing up. So that's good.
I wonder, how do you get one number off of it? Because my main line has a telezapper because it's an automated call.
Oh.
You pick it up and it disconnects it. So I got it on my cell phone also. So
Well, you'll get it
it's
on
good,
there, because
so
I
I'll
get it both
on
on my
that.
cell phone and on my home phone, usually at the same time. I can't listen to both at the same time.
You can phone it? Oh, thank you, ma'am. I'll be over.
Anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4:25.